July 1986. Sichuan Province, southwestern China. Workers digging a clay pit strike something unusual. Not clay, bronze. Massive pieces. They stop digging and call archaeologists. What archaeologists uncover over the next weeks will rewrite everything we thought we knew about ancient China. Two enormous sacrificial pits, filled with hundreds of artifacts. Bronze masks with faces 3 feet wide. Golden staffs. Jade weapons. Ivory tusks carved with intricate designs. But here's what shocks them. None of these artifacts match anything in known Chinese history. The masks look alien. Massive eyes, protruding pupils, angular features. Nothing like traditional Chinese art. The bronze work is more advanced than anything from the same period. The scale is unprecedented. This isn't a tomb. It's not a treasure hoard. These are deliberate sacrifices, ritually smashed, burned, and buried around 1200 BC by a civilization that appeared suddenly, flourished for centuries, then vanished without trace. No written records, no mention in Chinese historical texts, no explanation for their disappearance. For 3,000 years, they were completely forgotten, until 2 clay pits revealed their existence. Who were they? Where did they come from? And why did they disappear so completely that even their memory was erased? The story of Sanxingdui begins with 2 accidental discoveries, both by ordinary people, both revealing extraordinary civilizations. Actually, the first discovery happened in 1929. A farmer digging an irrigation ditch near the village of Sanxingdui, 3-star mound, found a cache of jade objects. Beautiful, ancient, but without context, no one understood their significance. They were sold, scattered, forgotten. It would be 57 years before anyone realized what that farmer had stumbled upon. July 1986. Workers at a brick factory in Guanghan City, near the same area, are digging for clay. Their shovels hit bronze. Archaeologists arrive. What they find stops them cold. Pit 1. Over 400 artifacts. Bronze ritual vessels, jade blades, ivory tusks, cowrie shells, and dozens of bronze figurines. Pit 2. Over 1,000 artifacts, including massive bronze masks. One weighing 180 pounds. A 13-foot-tall bronze tree, golden masks, and a bronze figure standing on a pedestal. These aren't grave goods. They're sacrificial offerings, deliberately broken, burned, and buried in ritual pits. Carbon dating reveals they're from approximately 1200 to 1000 BC, China's late Shang dynasty period. But they look nothing like Shang culture. Nothing. The 1986 discovery was just the beginning. In 2019, archaeologists returned to Sanxingdui with modern technology. Between 2020 and 2023, they uncovered 6 more sacrificial pits. Pit 3 to 8 revealed over 13,000 additional artifacts, golden masks weighing over 100 grams, bronze altars with complex religious imagery, silk fabrics, extremely rare preservation. Ivory artifacts carved with geometric patterns, evidence of ritual burning and deliberate destruction. Each discovery raises more questions than answers. Sanxingdui isn't just 2 pits. It's a massive urban center. Ground-penetrating radar and excavations reveal city walls enclosing an area of 12 square kilometers, 4.6 square miles. Residential quarters, dense occupation zones with houses and workshops, palace foundations, large structures indicating centralized authority, workshops, bronze casting facilities, jade workshops, pottery kilns. Population estimate, possibly 30,000 to 50,000 people at its peak. This wasn't a village. It was a Bronze Age metropolis, and no one knew it existed. Let me describe what makes Sanxingdui artifacts so unsettling. So unlike anything else in ancient China, the bronze masks are the most iconic and the most bizarre. Size. Some are over 3 feet wide, meant for display, not wearing. Eyes. Massively exaggerated. Cylindrical pupils protruding several inches from the face, like telescopes extending outward. Ears. Large, stylized, swept back or pointing outward. Facial structure. Angular. Geometric. Almost cubist in design. Expression. Neutral, enigmatic, inhuman. They don't look like human faces. They look like gods, or aliens, or something we don't have words for. Traditional Chinese art from this period. Shang dynasty bronze vessels. Feature dragons, Tao Tai, mythical creatures, stylized animals. Human faces are rare and always realistic. These masks, they belong to a completely different aesthetic tradition. Then there's the bronze tree, found in pieces, reconstructed to nearly 13 feet tall. It's a sacred tree, with multiple branches arranged in tiers. On each branch sit bronze birds, fruits, and decorative elements. At the base, mythical creatures and dragons. Similar sacred tree motifs appear in Mesopotamian art, thousands of miles away. But nothing like this exists elsewhere in China. Was this a world tree? A cosmic axis connecting Earth to heaven? A religious symbol we can't decipher? We don't know. Several artifacts feature gold rare in Bronze Age China. One is a golden staff, decorated with intricate patterns including human faces and fish. Fish and human hybrids. Again, not a Chinese motif. but common in ancient Mesopotamian and Egyptian mythology. Why? Coincidence? Trade? Cultural exchange across thousands of miles. Multiple bronze figures stand in elaborate robes, hands positioned as if holding something. Probably jade or wooden ritual objects that have since decayed. They're clearly high-status individuals. Priests? Kings? Shamans? Their exact role is unknown. But their clothing, their posture, their styling, all completely distinct from known Shang dynasty figures. The jade artifacts are exquisitely crafted. Ceremonial blades, tablets, ornamental pieces. Some have geometric patterns drilled with astonishing precision. The ivory, mostly from Asian elephants, includes carved tusks with continuous spiral patterns. The level of craftsmanship suggests specialized artisans working over years on single pieces. Here's the key mystery. Sanxingdui exists during the Shang dynasty, circa 1600 to 1046 BC. Same time period, same region of China. But the art looks nothing alike. Shang dynasty art, oracle bone inscriptions, early Chinese writing, bronze vessels with Taotai masks, realistic human and animal figures, complex but recognizable Chinese aesthetic. Sanxingdui art. No writing system discovered, giant masks with protruding eyes, abstract, geometric, alien-looking, no precedent in Chinese art history. It's like finding Aztec pyramids in medieval England. They exist in the same time and place, but belong to completely different cultural worlds. If those masks gave you chills, subscribe to this channel. We explore the civilizations that don't fit the history books. And comment, do these artifacts remind you of anything from other ancient cultures? Where else have you seen similar aesthetic styles? Now, let's talk about what happened to them. Around 1000 to 800 BC, the Sanxingdui civilization vanishes. The city is abandoned. The culture disappears. And here's the disturbing part. They seem to have destroyed their own sacred objects before leaving. The artifacts in the sacrificial pits weren't lost. They were deliberately destroyed, broken systematically, bronze masks smashed, figurines snapped at joints. Burned intentionally, many show fire damage. Some were burned before being buried. Buried in ritual pits, carefully arranged in layers. Not random disposal. Covered with earth and sealed, as if closing a chapter. Ending something. This wasn't conquest or looting. Conquerors steal valuables. They don't smash and bury them. This was cultural suicide. Deliberate erasure. Theory 1. River shift and flooding. Sanxingdui sits near the Min River, a tributary of the Yangtze. Geological evidence suggests the river's course shifted dramatically around 1000 BC. If flooding destroyed agricultural land or made the city uninhabitable, people would have migrated. But why destroy their sacred objects? Why not take them to the new location? Theory 2. Devastating earthquake. The region is seismically active. A massive earthquake could have destroyed the city and been interpreted as divine punishment. In that context, destroying sacred objects makes sense. Appeasing angry gods. Ending the ritual cycle. Preventing further calamity. Some structural damage at the site supports this theory. But conclusive evidence is lacking. Theory 3. Military conquest. Perhaps another power, possibly the Shang dynasty itself, conquered Sanxingdui. The ritual destruction could have been forced. Conquerors making the defeated people destroy their own gods as ultimate humiliation. Or the Sanxingdui people did it themselves rather than let conquerors defile sacred objects. Either way, this theory requires evidence of warfare. So far, none has been found at the site. Theory 4. Planned relocation. Here's where it gets interesting. About 50 kilometers away, there's another site, Jinsha. Jinsha dates to approximately 1000 to 600 BC, right when Sanxingdui was abandoned. And Jinsha contains similar artifacts. Gold masks, jade objects, bronze items. The style is connected to Sanxingdui but evolved. Many scholars now believe Sanxingdui people relocated to Jinsha, perhaps due to environmental pressures or political reorganization. The ritual destruction at Sanxingdui could have been ceremonial closure, ending the old religious center before establishing a new one. But here's what none of these theories explain. Why was Sanxingdui completely forgotten? Ancient Chinese historical texts, detailed chronicles going back thousands of years, never mention this civilization. Not once. The Shang dynasty left oracle bone inscriptions. The Zhou dynasty compiled historical records. Later Chinese historians documented every major kingdom and culture they knew about. But Sanxingdui? Total silence. It's as if it was deliberately erased from memory. The excavations from 2020 to 2023 have provided new evidence. And new mysteries. 6 additional pits excavated between 2020 to 2023 revealed a golden mask, weighing over 100 grams, one of the largest ancient gold masks ever found in China, silk fabrics, extraordinarily rare preservation, providing evidence of advanced textile production. Bronze altars, multi-tiered structures with intricate mythological scenes. Ivory carvings, thousands of pieces, some with painted decorations still visible. Organic materials, seeds, fibers, and burned offerings giving insight into ritual practices, tool marks, and workshop evidence, revealing sophisticated manufacturing techniques. But also more ritual destruction, more deliberate smashing, More burning. Whatever caused them to abandon the site, it required total religious rupture. Modern technology is revealing details the 1986 excavation couldn't detect. Isotope analysis, tracing the origin of bronze, gold, and ivory to understand trade networks. Residue analysis, identifying burned offerings. Silk, rice, possibly meat. Metalworking analysis, revealing advanced casting techniques, including piece mold casting and lost wax methods. DNA analysis, from organic remains, attempting to understand population genetics. LiDAR and GPR, mapping unexcavated areas, revealing extensive buried structures. The findings? Sanxingdui was even more advanced than initially thought. One of the biggest questions: did Sanxingdui have writing? Some artifacts display symbols, geometric patterns, repeated marks. Are these decorative or proto-writing? If it's writing, it doesn't match any known Chinese script. It's not Oracle bone script. It's not anything recognizable. This raises a chilling possibility. Sanxingdui might have had its own writing system, now lost. If true, we may be missing entire historical records, religious texts, administrative documents, all dissolved into time. The Jinsha site, discovered in 2001, provides crucial continuity, similarities, gold masks and ornaments, jade ritual objects, similar religious iconography, bronze working techniques differences. Smaller scale, no massive masks. Evolved artistic style, different ceremonial practices, urban planning differences. The consensus. Jinsha represents the continuation of Sanxingdui culture after relocation. Not a replacement, but an evolution, which means the culture didn't vanish. It transformed. If you're thinking, how did we not know about this until 1986? Hit that like button. History's full of forgotten civilizations. And comment, what do you think those giant masks represented? Gods? Aliens? Ancestors? Shamanic visions? Now, what does this mean for Chinese history? Sanxingdui forces us to completely rethink early Chinese civilization. The traditional narrative of Chinese civilization was linear: Central Plains, Yellow River Basin, Shang Dynasty, Zhou Dynasty, unified China. Chinese civilization was thought to have developed in one region, the Yellow River Valley, then spread outward. Sanxingdui destroys this model. Sanxingdui proves that multiple sophisticated civilizations existed simultaneously in ancient China. Yellow River Shang Dynasty, Northern China, Oracle bones, bronze ritual vessels. Sanxingdui/Shu civilization, Southwestern China, massive masks, sacred trees, possibly others, still undiscovered regional powers. Chinese civilization wasn't a single river flowing from one source. It was multiple tributaries, each contributing to the eventual unified culture. Sanxingdui also raises questions about ancient global connections. Mesopotamian motifs, fish-human hybrids, sacred trees, Egyptian elements, gold mask traditions, ritual object destruction. Southeast Asian connections, ivory trade, artistic similarities. Were these independent developments, convergent evolution of religious symbols, or evidence of Bronze Age trade networks far more extensive than we imagined? We don't know. Later Chinese texts mention the Shu kingdom in the Sichuan basin. But these references are vague, mythological. Is Sanxingdui the archaeological evidence of this legendary Shu kingdom? Most scholars think yes. But if so, why do Chinese historical texts describe Shu as culturally Chinese, when Sanxingdui looks so alien? Possible answer: by the time histories were written, centuries later, Sanxingdui culture had been absorbed, modified, Sinicized, its distinctive origins forgotten or deliberately erased. Today, the Sanxingdui Museum in Sichuan displays these impossible artifacts. Millions visit annually, staring at masks that seem to stare back from another world. But fundamental questions remain unanswered. Who were they ethnically? Linguistic analysis impossible without texts. What did the masks represent? Gods? Shamanic visions? Mythical beings? Why the ritual destruction? Religious transformation? Environmental catastrophe? Did they have writing? Potential symbols remain undeciphered. How extensive was their influence? Was Sanxingdui unique or part of broader Shu civilization? Why totally forgotten? How does a major culture leave no historical trace? Less than 2% of the Sanxingdui site has been excavated. 98% remains buried. What else is down there? More pits? A royal tomb? A library? Sanxingdui reminds us that history is incomplete, that major civilizations can be lost, forgotten, buried under fields for 3,000 years. And it reminds us that our ancestors were far more diverse, more creative, more mysterious than we give them credit for. Those masks, with their protruding eyes, their enigmatic expressions, they're not looking at us. They're looking past us, into a world we can't see, a belief system we can't reconstruct, a civilization we'll never fully understand. And maybe that's appropriate. Maybe some mysteries should stay buried. But we keep digging anyway. If Sanxingdui fascinated you, subscribe to this channel. We explore the civilization's history forgot. Hit that like button if you'd never heard of Sanxingdui before this video. And final mission: comment with what you think should be excavated next at Sanxingdui. Royal tombs? Residential areas? Temples? What do you most want archaeologists to find? I'll see you in the next investigation, where we prove that the ancient world is stranger than any fiction. Until then, remember, beneath every field, every hill, every forgotten place, civilizations wait, silent, patient, ready to shatter everything we think we know.